welcome to another episode of Top Shelf Nerds, brought to you by Nerds Amalgamated, an affiliate of TNC Productions. And starting off this week, Professor, you were saying about a machine that's going to help clean up garbage and plastic in the oceans.
Yeah, a Dutch guy, I think he was Dutch, a teenager actually, has put together a design for a plastic collection device to put out in the Pacific Ocean to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is an area the size of Texas consisting of tons and tons of plastic fragment. It's sort of surprising to me that nobody's done it before, because the design he's built, and they are putting it out there now, is it seems pretty simple, just a net basically. So I don't know why it wasn't developed before, but he reckons it will clean up 50% of the garbage patch within 5 years correctly.
Okay. Why hasn't Greenpeace funded something like this? They've got all those people that are apparently so smart.
Yeah, instead of scuttling their ship, Sea Shepherd should have been donating money to this.
From what I've gathered, apparently he developed this idea when he was 16 years old in 2011. Wow, that's incredible. They developed this idea years afterwards.
Yeah, well, it's not really years afterwards. It's taken a bit of time to develop and test it and get funding to produce. It's a bloody great net. They needed a lot of funding to put together the money to build it and use it without causing more problems.
I'm just looking here. Apparently, it was something. It was, what's his name? Boyan Slat. S-L-A-T.
Yeah.
Apparently, he came up with the idea when he was an 18-year-old aerospace engineering student.
So he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And looking in the article here, one of the best things is, okay, we can't clean it up. The best thing we can do is not make it worse. And he found that to be a very uninspiring message. So
yeah, it's we've always been told we can't fix it, but he's gone out there and said, have we really thought about doing the stupid, simple stuff and actually building a net to clean it up? And turns out that if anyone did, no one's done it. So he's now the first one to do it.
Well, they've got plenty of nets, like they use like the long net fishing for trawling and all that.
Yeah, the article says that's part of the problem, because people will drop their nets when they get holes in them.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is, like, they've got all the big long nets that they use for fishing, and the commercial trawlers that drag in tons and tons of fish. How about using one of those to just drag in most of it and bring up most of the garbage, and then just transfer that into somewhere else?
That seems to be the basis behind the design. Instead of actively towing it, it's just going to drift on the ocean currents, presumably at a different speed to the rest of the plastic.
Okay, now they need to actually
every month they'll send out a boat to pick it up.
Okay, but what I was thinking is they could do that. And then there was another guy who had something where he was actually recycling the plastic. I think we discussed it previously, where he was extracting the oil and other products out of the plastic for making bitumen or whatever. So yeah,
it would be pretty funny though if they ended up building a barge that has a giant 3D printer on it, and then scooping up the plastic from this, melting it down, and 3D printing it back into another net to garbage collector.
Well, it'd be pretty logical actually, because there's guys out there that are taking plastic and they're putting it through garden shredders and using it for 3D printers. They could make useful things out of it. But you were saying, when we were talking about this the other day, when you mentioned it to us, you said something about there's the tree wars or something?
The Indian-Pakistan tree war. Basically, instead of actually going to war and killing people, India and Pakistan have these little competitions to plant the most trees. So one year, one of them will do it and plant. Like the first year, off the top of my head, it was Pakistan with about 500,000 trees. And then the next year it was India with 800,000. And then Pakistan beat them out again. And then India went and planted 8 million trees, 50 million trees, and just bigger and bigger.
Okay. I'm actually looking at an article here, and it's India plants 50 million trees in one day, smashing the record.
And they planted on border regions as well.
And the previous record was a mere 847,275 trees set by Pakistan in 2013. So, once again, India and Pakistan are making everyone else, like everyone picks on these guys and calls them silly and all this. They're actually much more forward thinking than most of us. Like they're
I
actually
wonder
doing something useful.
You know what strikes me though, like when you look at countries like America and Australia and stuff, they all say like, oh, we have to take care of the environment, we have to plant more trees, we have to pick up garbage, and nobody really gives a responsibility. But when you look at India and stuff, they're taking so much. They're putting environment as part of their like agenda. Like the most important thing to take care of is the environment, the first thing.
Yeah. Well, they got that's like what we're saying. Like we mentioned the other week, they've got the renewable energies as part of the national infrastructure as part is by law. Actually, I don't think you were here, Professor. They've got we were discussing it one of the weeks we were away. In India, they got by law that all the energy supplying companies have to invest into renewable energy schemes.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually actively involved in developing solar power, wind power, and hydropower in manners that doesn't require other like it's not doing it like thermal electric with some of the other hydroelectric schemes.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like they're so progressive environmentally because they have to live with the pollution. We've shipped so much of our manufacturing overseas to India and Bangladesh and China that now the pollution there gets so bad that they have to do something about it. We don't see the effects of it as clearly here.
Yeah, well, there's also the fact that it was around Delhi, they've banned all around that entire region. They've banned plastic.
Yeah, they also banned. They also done rules on on what days can you use the car because of high smog levels in Delhi as well.
Yeah, but the simple fact that they're banning plastic in not just the city of Delhi, but the area surrounding it, so that you're not allowed to use plastic bags or whatever. You got to come up with other means of doing stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a massive thing. Like when you consider the size of Delhi and the area that it's affecting, that's a huge step.
So an absolute complete ban of everything in plastic, is it?
It's plastic bags. I can't remember all the details. I'll have to Google it for you. But yeah, I saw it a couple. Sorry, I can't remember when it was. But yeah, they banned plastic bags, all forms of disposable plastic in the capital.
So no Tupperware, no plastic bags.
Well, Tupperware is not disposable. Tupperware you keep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the takeaway containers you get,
single use plastic,
are banned.
That's
disposable plastic. I just sent you guys through a link there. Cutlery, bags, cups, other forms of single-use plastic are prohibited by the National Green Tribunal.
That is a great first step to dealing with plastic.
Yeah.
There's also a brewery in Europe that, you know, like they have the 6-pack of beers where they got the plastic rings.
I think I heard about them. They made edible plastic rings. Yeah,
I'm not sure if I don't think it's plastic, but they've made those that are now actually designed that they're actually biodegradable and food for fish or whatever. So yeah.
I do hope that this isn't going to be one of those situations where we think we've found the solution and it turns out to be even worse. But it is a great development.
Well, here's an interesting thought for you. I think I was reading an article a couple of days ago where a 10-year-old girl has developed a move where all stores in the coastal regions of Australia are banning plastic straws, and as a result of that, disabilities groups are saying, "Hey, what the hell, man? We needed straws to drink." So I don't know.
Well, you got to be flexible. Like you got to consider like the safety of other people and all that, like whether they need things. But apparently, I saw something. Apparently, I think even Brisbane is apparently looking at banning plastic bags.
A while back, I don't know where that went. Actually, the local one of the local shops has a sign or had a sign behind the checkout saying, "In preparation for the plastic bag ban, we will not be providing bags, etc., etc." So
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
I
say,
wonder if that was a response to an actual law, or if they just did it because it was a threat.
No. Just had a quick look here. Queensland's plastic bag ban will begin on the 1st of July 2018 and applies to in-store and online sales. From this date, retailers are no longer allowed to supply shoppers with single-use lightweight plastic bags under 35 microns for free or at a charge.
By the-
35 mics. Oh, I hate those bags because I
They're
admit
too
they're
skinny.
better for the environment, but they don't hold anything.
Yeah.
by the way, guys, here's that link about the banning of plastic.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister has cerebral palsy, and when she was younger, she couldn't use regular straws, and she had trouble holding a cup steady enough to drink. So what we did was carry around a straw from a pearl tea that you get at the Japanese shops.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a straw from one of them that's big enough for the pearls, and that worked really well for her. So we just carried that around Mum's handbag.
Yeah. I know a few people that actually do that for basically the same reason. So yeah, like there's as I said, there's got to be some understanding and leeway in these bans. Like banning plastic bags, okay, cool, not a problem. I'm all for that. I've been saying it for years that why did they ever get rid of the old paper bags that they used to have? They were better for the environment.
I think it was just more of the whole it breaks too easily. That was the whole argument.
No, that was only if they had cheap paper bags in your bag that were wrong.
Yeah, I've got paper bags from Kathmandu that are held together for weeks carrying stuff around. I used one as my board games bag for a while.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've got. I remember going to the shops with my mum when I was a kid, and they still use paper bags then. And we used to carry the shopping out in paper bags. And you used to be able to get more into one paper bag than you could into the plastic bags. And they also used to have the cardboard boxes that they'd emptied the stuff out of would be in a box bin at the front, so you could
Oh yeah,
do your shopping and put it into the cardboard box to carry out to the car in.
yeah. Bunnings is really good about that, and Audi doesn't so much encourage it as let it slide.
Yeah, like people used to do that, and then you'd have your compost heap and your vegetable scraps and all that would go into the bin.
Yep.
Well, like the compost bin and compost heap and break down to be used for potting mix or whatever. Now we got recycling bins and we got green waste bins in Queensland, but none of the supermarkets are bringing back paper bags.
Speaking of recycle bins, I don't know whether you guys heard about that. Some place around Australia, they're banning. They're not going to do recycle bins anymore.
I haven't heard about that in Australia, but it's been part of debate in a lot of places. And the reason for that is that a lot of the time, like especially in Australia, the companies aren't actually recycling. They ship it overseas or put it in a dump because it isn't profitable for them. There was a great show on ABC, The War on Waste, and the host of that put some GPS devices in plastic recycling bins and tracked them going to someplace in China, and another set went to a dump site like landfill.
Okay, well that's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there is stuff where they can be recycling it and using it for stuff. But I think we might need to move along, otherwise we'll be here for the next year talking about this. Like it's always a passionate topic.
Well, I don't have any plans, so
I've got the assignments
sure
due.
you do, Bucky.
But
And we don't want to be here and miss the DJ's date.
wow.
What date? What's this date I hear about?
Well, we're working for Valentine's Day if anyone wants you. But moving along though, DJ, you were
Yes.
saying that apparently the Switch is now hackable more than it was
Yes.
before.
So a couple of days ago, the Nintendo Switch has been hacked by two hackers named Fail Overflow and Kate.
That's such a great name, Failed Overflow.
And
Sounds like someone had a really bad night after the pub and having a bad curry.
Oh. And Kate Temek. So they basically what they did was this was a hardware hack, and this will forward for the only way forward for securing the console to be revised blah, blah, with the processor. In short term, the code is possible and a full touch version, but basically it's now you can now hack it. People can now hack into the Nintendo Switch, and there's no patch for it.
Yeah, like you mentioned this to me the other day, and when we were discussing about the topics, and mate, it's wireless technology. As soon as it's wireless, it's hackable. Like, there's a reason why you have to turn the Bluetooth off on your phone when you're not using it, and it's recommended you turn off the Wi-Fi and so forth. If you're not actually making use of it, it creates a port that's open to exploitation.
Yeah.
Like any hacker out there that's got 2 or 3 spare brain cells is able to hack it.
The Switch does have a lot of openings. It's got the USB-C communication, the Joy-Con connection, which is Bluetooth, I believe, and the Wi-Fi, and the cartridges.
So it's all exploitable. As soon as it's a non-physical contact, it's an exploitable port of connection for a hacker.
And here's the thing: you can't fix it. This hack, you can't fix it aiming at the processor.
Wow,
that's
they're saying it's not fixable, but yeah, there probably are ways that it can be done. It's just not worth the money of it all.
One of the discussions I had to look at on Reddit regarding it suggested that they could discourage people by adding, restricting people who have detected to have hacked their Switch.
Well, the other thing they could do is just make it so that the actual processing control systems in the actual software, as soon as it actually gets hacked, it just makes it so that the whole thing just becomes nothing other than a paperweight.
Or that would be.
Well, there was actually a company that did just that years ago with some of their technology, and yeah, it kind of it actually worked, because whenever it happened, a signal was actually sent back to the parent company that what was happening, and so they were actually tracking where the hacks were happening and actually identified the people who were involved, and yeah, they actually had them prosecuted, and yeah.
Wow.
But don't they?
The Electronic Freedom Foundation would not like that.
Well, the fact of the matter is these guys were doing malicious hacking, and so anyone who had that happen could submit the hacked device back to the company, who would replace it, and that enabled the company to then have further evidence of who it was, and it was all in conjunction with government authorities and so forth. So it was an active pursuing of people who were doing hacking. It was involved with identity. Pardon me while I change my speech pattern here. It was all involved with identity theft and fraud and stuff like that. So yeah, the company said, okay, well, there's the issue here, it needs to be dealt with, and they just went, okay, we're going to make sure we do it properly, and we're going to hurt the people that are involved and make sure they face charges. And they wore the entire cost and made sure that they ended up in jail.
You know this. This reminds me of the PlayStation Network happened in 2011, and
is he going a robot ETU?
Yeah, he needs to, and it's nothing like the PlayStation hack. That was actually a hardline hack over the internet. It wasn't a Wi-Fi hack.
It was a hack of the network servers, not the console.
Oh no, but some of the consoles were attacked. Remember Lizard Squad? The Lizard Squad when they disrupted a lot of people's PSN accounts and people's consoles couldn't be played.
Yeah, but that was actually a server hack rather than a console hack.
Nah.
So if you want to start discussing that, there was also Vodafone was hacked back 2009, 2010, because they had shared passwords between numerous people, and there was 500,000 users' account details were stolen, and Vodafone faced massive prosecution. And that was just in Australia alone. So if you want to start talking about that, that's a whole different stream of hacking. But yeah, I have to say thank you for bringing this one to us, just purely and utterly for the name of Fail Overflow. I hope you managed to clean up that mess.
I'm really excited for it because I want to see the homebrew scene on Switch. It's already fairly easy to do homebrew on Switch. You can compile Unity games to Switch, but
Okay.
I'm excited to see where people can go now that they have full access to the firmware and the hardware.
Yeah, like if people are doing stuff like that, that's great. Like I've got nothing against that. It's just when people get surprised, like, oh, apparently my wireless activity is being hacked. I just find that I just make fun of people saying that sort of stuff. Sorry,
Fair enough.
but I always make fun of stupid people.
Hey, that's a given.
But here's something that'll make people's day and probably even upset some. AT&T is launching a $15 streaming subscription.
Another one.
Apparently, it's going to be called the Skinny Bundle.
Oh.
I'm guessing from that it means there's not going to be any cooking shows.
Probably also means there's not going to be anything on it.
I not yeah. Looking at the article here, one of the things I find interesting is the fact that apparently AT&T are doing this while they're facing an antitrust trial in America at the same time. So
Do you reckon this is like a doubling down, well, not down, more like a, oh, we're gonna cut a save face.
No, I think they're just trying to get in the streaming market
yeah,
because everyone's looked at that and said this is making millions of dollars for Netflix. Let's do it, and that's how we got Hulu and HBO. Do they have their own one?
no, I think
wants
they
to
just
make their
supply
own
to other
one.
people.
I think Disney's got one with
No, Disney supplies to others as well. They're a studio.
Yeah, they were talking about coming off their own.
But
Yeah.
AT&T, like part of their court case is apparently they bought Time Warner. So apparently that's upsetting someone somewhere.
I don't know who that could be.
I don't know.
You sounded at all mildly upset at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure of all the details here. It hasn't got too much of the details listed, but yeah, if we wanted to go and dig into it, there's lots of stuff there. So if anyone is bored with the lack of content on their streaming, there's another one.
Yet another
you'll have-
password, another catalog to memorize.
So
If you
you'll
want to find the
have
show, you have to
Netflix.
search for another channel.
You'll have Netflix, Stan, Hulu, and Skinny Bundle.
Oh no, that's the show's called AT&T Watch. That's the deal.
Okay.
Skinny bundle, is that including internet or something?
It's saying it does not include sports, one of the cheapest available for live, so no sports. And
Well.
Okay.
although, do you reckon it's true? Do you reckon AT&T going into this? It's kind of like, oh, it's too late. Everyone's now saturated with.
Yes, but I think if they get the right content, they will be able to catch up.
Yeah, like there's no reason to be upset about coming into the market late. It just means everyone else has already done all the groundwork of establishing the marketplace. You just come in with great product, you then manage to make a huge score.
Yeah, Netflix has the brand recognition, but without the originals, that would be nothing. If Netflix lost all of their non-original stuff tomorrow, then people would still watch the originals. But if Netflix didn't have originals and they lost all their stuff tomorrow, they'd shut down right away.
It's like ride sharing. There's lots of ride sharing options out there now, and Uber paved the way, fought all the legal battles, and everyone else is now going, hey, you know what? Thanks a lot, guys. You've done all the hard work. Let's cash in now. So yeah,
this will be interesting. Although what is Australia?
You were mentioning something about Campo Santo, Professor.
The next story is that Valve has acquired Campo Santo, who are the developers of the story game Firewatch.
Okay.
Well, it's narrative heavy. It's not a walking simulator like everybody's gone to the Rapture, but and it's more interactive than say a Way Out for a recent one, or Fahrenheit, or what was that other game by that guy, David Cage?
Doesn't ring a bell at the top off the top of my head. Sorry.
The one that everyone's like, Jason.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Heavy Rain.
That's it. Yeah.
Heavy
so
Rain.
it's more interactive than that, or actually, for more modern examples, A Way Out, or that one about the Wendigos, Until Dawn.
Okay.
But their big focus has been on single player narrative games, and so far they've only released one game, but they're working on others. And Valve acquired them. I'm hopeful means that since Valve lost most of their core team from the Half-Life days in the last couple of years, I'm hoping they're trying to build up their game development side again.
Okay, that'd be good.
That'd be interesting. That's a good. I think that's a good acquisition. Like you said, the Firewatch game was very nice. I haven't played, but I've seen the playthroughs and it looked very nice. The graphics and the.
Yeah, it's stylized, but it's a good style.
I think they will do. I think they will do well, provided if Valve doesn't screw around like every other.
Valve won't screw around with them. That's not the Valve way.
Hey, were these the guys that did Portal or Portal 2?
Yeah.
No, those guys were picked up by Valve years ago. They
Ah,
were
okay.
a team from DigiPen,
Okay.
and they made basically a prototype for Portal, which they showed off as their sort of final year project for their degree. And Valve saw that and picked them up because it was so impressive.
Okay. Not a
They're
problem.
they're the guys behind Half-Life.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know who wouldn't know that.
Nah.
I'm always
then-
happy when people are supporting
Yeah,
new
it's
ideas.
the Valve
and,
way. Pick up indie devs and give them AAA money
Yeah.
and AAA guidance.
Look, it's kind of like the 3M approach, but taken into software. Yeah, I like that idea. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but yeah, 3M. You know, like the guys who do Scotch tape, they have an attitude of if you have an idea that they can develop and produce into a commercial entity, they actually set up its own subsidiary company as a 3M label, and you are put on the board of directors of that company, and you own a share of that for the rest, like for eternity, or until you sell it. And
That's cool.
So, Post-it notes, which started out as a 3M product. Guy got tired of his bookmark falling out of his book, and that was how the Post-it note developed. And so he was doing that, and people started stealing them to use the Post-it notes. And so, yeah, he ended up being on the board of directors for his own subsidiary company with Post-it notes. And look how big that's exploded.
That's very cool.
Oh yeah.
So that's a company that, similar to that, where you have a good idea. It's like, hey, you know what? We have all the infrastructure. What you've got is a great idea. We're not going to take it all from you. We will license it and produce it with you, and blah blah blah, and you will become rich.
This is similar to like what you see in Kickstarter and all the other.
No,
It's
no,
more
no.
like Shark Tank.
Oh,
But
that.
this is beyond Shark Tank. This is, they say, like, if you've got an idea that's only just in the small kernel, like if you have an invention that's useful and can become something, they have an entire team of people that will help take it to the next level. So yeah, hence like the Post-it note, as I said, the guy he came up with a special little glue for putting on paper
Cool.
for making a bookmark, and
Huh.
100 generations from now, his family's still going to be living on the subsidies of that. So
Oh, that man is.
One day we will all live under the Post-it note empire.
mate, I wouldn't laugh about it. It could be a possibility.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, would you not back the opportunity to marry the billionaire heiress? Who obviously not a Paris Hilton, because she's not making sex tapes.
Well, speaking of heiresses, this is an interesting fact for you. You remember, is it John Kennedy? Not John.
I don't know. You're the one telling the story.
There was some famous senator that
Really?
one of the famous senators, actually, his wife is the
No.
heiress. His wife is the heiress to the Heinz Kitchen Sauces empire.
Okay.
John Kerry, that's his name. John Kerry.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, his
Who I only know by name.
Isn't he the chin? John Kerry, hasn't he got a chin that goes for days?
Oh yeah, I think it does.
Like-
It does.
If I'm remembering the right person, I'm gonna have to Google it, folks. But if he's who I'm thinking he is, they should actually name an aircraft carrier after him, because yeah, his chin is big enough to land a couple of jets. Yeah, that's him. That's the foreign affairs minister or whatever, or secretary of state.
Oh, I see.
For so he's the guy that they make fun of because he's got the most vacant expression, but he's worth a ton.
You kind of have to be in that sort of industry.
Yeah, well, but yeah, no. Apparently he's got military service, and apparently he was involved in the presidential campaign and all that back in 2004. I'm just amazed at the hairstyle. Like, it looks like, you see those the Lego figures. They got the hair that pops on and off. It looks like that, and his head's about the same shape. So, and then he's just got this huge chin. He might be a really
Yeah.
nice guy. Like I'm not meaning to be insulting and pick on him. It's just like the chin is big enough. Like literally, you could land a jumbo jet on there and still have room for it to turn around and attack.
Oh, that is nasty.
Well, not
He
being
does have a
nasty.
very long face.
yeah,
I'm not mean, as I said, I'm not meant to be nasty. That's a chin to be proud of. Like, he goes into a fight leading with his chin. It pushes the person back a step.
And he's in the Navy.
Is it the Navy? Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Looking at this, he's was awarded a Silver Star and a Bronze Star.
Okay.
I was thinking, was this the guy who got captured and sent to a prisoner of war camp? But that was someone else.
He was born in a army medical center. So yeah, I know that's one thing I've found out about him in Colorado.
Here we go. For his Bronze Star, this is an interesting story. He was traveling in a swift boat to transport troops from a garrison to a raid. And it says, earlier in the day, Kerry received a slight shrapnel wound in the buttocks from blowing up a rice bunker.
uh,
I just imagine
Hang
that
on.
at the Forrest Gump scene.
I was just gonna say, hey, this guy's in Forrest Gump, is he?
Yeah, it's bit me in the buttocks.
But the government must have kept that money because I never saw a cent of that.
Stupid it does.
We say that to you on a daily basis.
By the way, his wife Teresa Hines, she is the chair of Hines Endowment and Hines Family Philanthropy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the heiress to the Hines Empire. God,
Okay.
he's worth $1 billion.
Is
That's
that all?
That was from 2000.
Only $1 billion.
Oh,
But I thought Heinz would have been worth a lot more than that.
putting a lot of money into it, you're saying?
Since a moment ago we were talking about post-it notes, I happened to look up the guy who invented post-it notes, and that is apparently Alan Amaron, who has been verified by a former 3M employee, and he sued 3M in 1997 because they were saying that one of their guys invented it, and he claimed to have invented it first, and
Okay.
he was paid out. But then in 2016, he tried to sue them for another $400 million, but was rejected because he'd agreed not to sue them again after the first attempt.
Okay. I just remember hearing the story years ago that, yeah, that was how 3M approached things, and that was the story behind it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, $400 million is if that's what he thought he could get for being the inventor, that's a pretty decent payout.
Yeah.
What was the initial payout?
It doesn't seem to say in this, just the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if he was going for another 400 million, if you got that sort of money for the first one, then why would you be going back and doing it again? Like, you got $400 million. You don't need to work for the next couple of lifetimes. Like, you can invest that poorly, but still make enough money that you're going to be moving forward for the next 5 or 6 generations.
You'd you want to not screw that up.
You wouldn't put it all on, let it all ride on black or something like that at the casino. But yeah, this week in tech, 20 years ago, I was looking through some bits and pieces and just feeling nostalgic. And I was tired of people posting up things about, like when I was a kid, a mouse was a rodent you had to catch in a trap and stuff like that. And started thinking about some of the different bits and pieces from over the years.
That'll be you in a few years, Bucky.
What do you mean a few years? I already do it already. But seriously,
Fair
someone
enough.
was complaining the other day that, do you remember the days when you were young and they had Windows 98 came out?
Oh.
And then I was just going, do you remember the days of when DOS 3.11 came out and everyone was amazed because it was so outstanding? And people like, what's DOS? I was like, yep.
I like how the kids, when they look at the floppy disk and they say, "Is that the save icon? Oh, the save icon."
Yeah. I was talking to someone about floppy disks, and they said, "Oh yeah, and you had the 5.5 inch." No, it was a 5 1/4, 3.5. We used to think we were special when we had a 3.5 inch with 1.44 megabytes.
Don't you just? And then the nostalgia the people, when you tell them about nostalgic stuff, people go like, "Huh? Was this before I was born?"
Well, probably for most people.
Yeah.
Like there's looking through this list here of different things, and it's got Bill Gates when he was they were doing the big release for Windows 98,
Oh,
and they got
yeah.
the big show and tell and everything, and it came up with the infamous blue screen of death. And
Reminds me
Bill
of
Bill Gates, the legend that he is, turned around and said that must be why we're not shipping Windows 98 yet. Like, honestly, like, you got to love the fact that the guy just goes, oh, okay, well, that's the reason why we're not doing that yet. Obviously telling someone, yeah, cancel all those orders going out.
reminds me of that Apple presentation last year where was it last year or the year before, where they were showing off the facial recognition, but they
Mhm.
forgot that the first time you unlock it after you turn it on, you need to use your passcode.
Oh. Let's not forget the previous iPhone presentation a couple of years back when they had the grip of death, where where he tried to put the where I think it was Steve Jobs' last one, where he tried to use the iPhone and the internet connection didn't work on the iPhone. Just check this out.
Um,
It was-
Antenna gate.
yeah,
well,
I think that's the one.
20 years ago, you've also got Pepsi Japan offered drinkers the opportunity to go to space, but due to legal reasons, you had to pay 15% of the $100,000 space flight cost.
Seriously, my mum was in a Pepsi commercial once.
You
I
what?
love some of those Pepsi commercials back in the day.
Oh, I still cannot forget the Michael Jackson one. The Michael Jackson the Pepsi commercial. That was
Was
best.
it Pepsi who had the ad? I think it was last year where they had like the riot and then
Kim
the
Kardashian.
Kardashian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't Kim. It was the trans one. What's her name?
No, it was Kim.
Caitlyn,
Yeah, okay. I thought it was Caitlyn.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, I think that's her name.
No,
She walks out and gives them some Pepsis, and they're all like, "Hey, let's not have a fight. Let's drink Pepsi together." And everyone got pissed off because it's all like Pepsi can solve poverty and Pepsi can
yeah, Kendall
solve
Jenner.
racism and police brutality and
Yeah, it was Kendall
Well,
Jenner, guys. It was Kendall
Kendall.
Jenner.
That's it.
Yeah, that was Kendall, and
Right.
I think Black Lives Matter people were just mad afterwards. They're like, oh, so
But actually, talking about the family of retarded people, did you hear that apparently Kanye West is getting into a lot of trouble because he's supporting Donald Trump's posts?
no.
Although I love the meme format that's come out of that, where you Photoshop in anything into Kanye's tweet and then have Trump just responding, "Very cool."
Well, apparently, was it John Legend? Apparently, sent him a Twitter message saying, "Oh, you're betraying all your fans." And apparently, Kanye West just responded, "Yeah, quit trying to insult everyone else's intelligence and trying to embarrass people."
And then Kim came in, and then Kim comes in and goes, so what? My husband's a free thinker. Let him think what he wants.
Okay,
I think that was the message.
maybe I'd be a bit scared. Like,
I mean, like
if you
kids
got
are.
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian coming to support you, you're in trouble.
What are their kids' names again? Like Northwest, and what's the other one?
Northwest.
I don't know. Actually, can you guys excuse me for a minute? I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, that was funny with all the Kanye.
Yeah, it's been a funny week for that. It's definitely been interesting seeing some of the things that have come out about, especially the memes.
Wasn't he
Cool.
also trying to? Wasn't he
I'm
also
trying
trying?
to come through.
Wasn't he trying to be? Wasn't he wants to be president in 2020 or something like that?
Yeah, he was talking about going for president. Lots of people have said that. Mark Zuckerberg has too.
Yeah, Mark.
Oh, 2020 is going to be a fun year.
Who is it? Mark Zuckerberg, Kanye West. I think Ron Perlman wanted to be in it as well.
Seriously,
So
Donald Trump said that he plans to go again if he doesn't get impeached.
Oh,
He actually said today, if the Democrats win the midterms, I'll get impeached. It's like, well, you're not showing any fear there.
well, what's the other one? But who else is it? The Rock wanted to go in as well.
Oh yeah, The Rock.
But I think that was a moot that went nowhere.
Still a couple of years.
I wonder who. I wonder who else. Who else should we bring in president? Should we bring? Imagine Arnie coming in and saying, "I want to be president."
He is. He could do it. He's actually the only one out of them who's got any sort of political background. He was a pretty decent governor, from what I know.
Actually, he was actually considering a run for presidency at one point.
You
I think it
were.
was
No, Arnie.
Oh, right.
They wouldn't let
Yeah,
Bucky
well-
be a president.
Could you imagine me as the president of the United States?
Oh,
My first act would be bomb the hill,
Which hill?
the one with all the politicians.
Capitol Hill.
Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Make the world a better place. But yeah, sorry about that, folks. Just had to go take care of something. Now we got some shout outs this week.
Yeah, we do have indeed.
Professor, you had one.
Yep.
So Bruce Campbell.
Campbell, who is Ash from the Evil Dead series, has officially retired forever from playing Ash.
Okay.
So no more Evil Dead, no more slaying the evil guy.
Okay. And birthdays this week that I noticed. On the 25th, which is Wednesday, I think from memory, we had Marconi, the man behind the radio, Al Pacino, and Uderzo. Uderzo. Sorry there, folks. I'm just having trouble with names tonight. Yeah.
And Samuel Morse. Let's not forget
And
him.
then, well, his birthday was on Friday.
Ah.
So, jumping the gun.
So,
Who's hosting this?
Yeah.
Come on, you freaking android. I'll knock you down and sell you for scrap metal. Flaming androids. I don't know.
They're not worth the trouble. So who is Uderzo? I haven't heard of him or her.
Uderzo. Have you ever read Asterix and Obelix?
Oh, yes.
He's the guy behind that.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, like I was sitting there when I was in my nostalgic frame of mind, and I thought, actually, I wonder who's had fancy, but like who's important that's had a birthday this day. And so I was looking back, and so yeah, it was like Marconi. You got to put a hand up and say respect to him. And then Al Pacino has done some of the greatest movies of all time, especially like when you look at The Godfather and so forth. And then Uderzo, like man, like can you get more nerdy and geeky than Asterix and Obelix back in the day? And then, of course, Samuel Morse. So, yeah, like...
Inventor of Morse code.
So, yeah, like, without Morse code, we probably wouldn't have many of the other codes that we use today.
Yeah. So, interesting thing about that. Marconi is famous for the radio, and Morse is famous for Morse code, which is best used over the radio.
Yes. Although it's also used with... I think he's original with the light, not so much the radio signal. It was adapted.
I know up until the invention of radio, it was strictly terrestrial via telegraph. Yeah.
But ships and so forth using Morse code used to do it with lights and so forth. So a flashing light and all that sort of stuff, which the Navy still uses today for ship-to-ship communication without radios, etc.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those amazing, simple but incredibly useful things.
And it's still being used today.
Yep.
I wonder if his family is interested in getting some compensation for the people using his invention.
Like, if we had to pay royalties for Morse, imagine paying royalties for the English alphabet. And then would we have to split it among the the Germanics and the Proto-Europeans and the
Morse code
Indo-Europeans?
is different to the English alphabet. The English alphabet is part of a language. Morse code is actually a code that was developed and commercialized.
Yeah, I suppose it would.
So it'd be like it's the original Microsoft.
Yep.
It's the original Microsoft.
Do you guys want to know an interesting fact about the Morse code? It was featured in a very, very popular movie not so long ago, actually. Guess which one?
Which one?
Avengers Age of Ultron, where there was a scene where, I don't know if you guys have seen it, where Scarlet Witch was trying to communicate to Hawkeye, and she just used plain old Morse code to say she was captured.
You know what other movies it's being used in?
Titanic.
Hundreds, man, like or thousands even.
It's even in games as Easter eggs and stuff.
Also, another interesting fact for Morse code: the British used to use a piece of Morse code to upset the Germans during World War II. And it was specifically the startup of one of, I think it was Bach's Fifth Symphony, where it goes, dun, 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 dun. That's the Morse code for V, which the BBC used to start off a broadcast, and then with the dun, 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 the V for victory, and they come in, we will fight them on the beaches. So, yeah.
Nice.
Um,
that.
BBC's version of fake news. Back in the
no,
day.
nothing fake about it.
Oh, no, but to confuse the Nazi.
No, it was just to annoy them. It wasn't to confuse them.
It was basically broadcasting "Screw you, we'll win."
Yeah, I think you need to get a logic chip reset there, man. Like you are going to comments
Completely off
such
the
as fake
rails.
news and so forth so often. Like honestly, have you ever seen the show NCIS?
Yes.
Yeah, you know the head slap that Gibbs does, the Gibbs slap. I want you to reach around behind the back of your head to her. Probably, and your hands probably be a bit too soft and girly, so you probably need to get a big, hard, heavy book with a solid cover.
Or go out and spend
Or a
a couple of
brick.
days chopping wood just to get your hands ready to slap yourself.
No. Get a brick actually, because then it'll be like and then it'd be like I'm slapping you, and just hit yourself as hard as you can.
Oh, but that
Yeah.
but
You
that
just
was-
got a Gibbs slap on in the middle of a show.
I've got a Morse code message for everyone.
Which one's it?
Please get me away from the DJ.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might have got that backwards. I hope I didn't.
No. Dash dot SOS.
Ah, good.
Yeah. You're a Boy Scout, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did something similar to that. So I learned that at I think it was about 6 years of age, and we had to do it with torches.
Oh yeah.
So we were on camp and we're having to do it across the distance, and it had to be able to be read, and we had to be able to send messages to each other. We had a book with it all in front of us, and we had to sit there and try and do it, and we had to communicate to each other and coordinate where we're going, what was happening. And that was
Nice.
great. Like 6-year-olds playing with torches. Yeah, I think it took a long time to get the message out.
So,
But moving on, the DJ wanted to talk about Supernova,
oh yes, apparently.
but more than just the DJ talking about it, the professor went and stole his thunder. He actually went there and in costume.
Oh, who'd you go as, Professor? Uh-oh.
He's run away. We've embarrassed him. Upset him.
Oh no. Oh no, Professor.
Anyway, yeah. So the
I-
professor actually went as Doctor Who. I've seen a picture and he looks sexy.
Oh yes, TARDIS of his very good TARDIS.
I don't know if it was his TARDIS or not. I haven't asked him about that. But Supernova.
Yeah, the guest list was amazing from what I've gathered. So let's name a few: Peter Capaldi from Doctor Who, John Barrowman from Torch, Tom Welling from Smallville, Pearl Mackie from Doctor Who.
Well, it's not just Smallville. He's also in Lucifer. Let's give current one.
Oh
Someone
yeah,
that's actually like he plays the lieutenant comes in season 3. I'm not sure if he's in season 2.
no, that's season.
When he comes in as the lieutenant, I think it's season 2 or season 3 is when he first appears, and he actually plays Kane.
Yeah, also known as Lieutenant Pierce.
Yep.
Who
And we
else?
got Alan Tudyk,
Oh yeah.
the pilot from Firefly. He was in Rogue One as well, but I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch me soar.
Oh, there's also someone from Agents of Shield, Elizabeth Hendrick.
Henstridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's a honey.
oh yeah. We've got who else from the world of anime? We had Aaron Zek from Ruby, Jen Brown from Ruby. Aaron Zek is famous as Blake from Ruby, and Jen Brown plays Pyrenicos as in Ruby.
You've got a behind the scenes meet the cast and crew of Garrison 7. Behind the scenes cast and crew of Ball, which looks like it's a Razorback remake. I have to look into that. I haven't seen that before.
There he is. Oh, and 2 other famous guests: John Jarrett from Wolf Creek and Walter Jones from the old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as the Black Ranger.
Well, the list just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah. So
We got to give
the professor
mention
has.
some of the others, such as Terry Brooks,
Oh yes.
and Kerry Arthur, Corey J. White. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
Hello, and Marianne Curley was there, the author of Fearless.
Are we talking the Supernova topic now?
Yes,
we
we
are.
are. We're,
Yep. Sorry, I lost connection for a minute.
That's okay. We were telling people you went as Doctor Who. And
Yes, the 4th Doctor.
you were
my
looking
very
quite
own
sexy and
homemade
stylish. Was that your own TARDIS in the picture?
No, it's a company called Hire a TARDIS. They they have a bunch of TARDISes they rent out for events. I've seen them at the medieval festival once.
Are they working TARDISes?
Unfortunately, not.
I was just thinking we could put the DJ in there. I said that might actually
I would
start.
have gotten in and gone back and stopped the mistake of creating him.
Yeah, because if we send him somewhere, they could actually start an intergalactic or inter-time zone or whatever, or interdimensional war.
Yeah, that would be embarrassing.
So
Like, I think that's the reason why we haven't actually seen aliens on this planet is they see all the stuff that's happening and then just go, no, no.
Well, I came up with a theory while very tired the other. What if Jesus was an alien coming to tell us, put down your guns, so that when the aliens invade in 1,000 years, then we won't have any weapons to defend ourselves.
I bet you that must have been what's written in the Bible at the end of Revelations. This was
I don't know. I'm just looking here at Terry Brooks. I'm just remembering some of the Shannara books that he wrote. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to watch the show of that on Netflix.
which
Yeah,
one?
actually, it's not too bad. I've actually
The,
watched season 1 of that, the Shannara Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But who did you meet any of the celebrities in Supernova, Professor?
Unfortunately, not really any celebrities by your standards. I met a couple of game devs and some authors though. So
yeah.
Okay.
yeah, not really.
Professor?
I was hoping to get to see Peter Capaldi, but it was out of the budget for this time.
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
Well, they charge for autographs and photos of people, but also Peter Capaldi and Pearl Mackie from the last season of Doctor Who were holding a talk, but that was a special entry thing with a higher cost.
Okay.
What else did you see over at Supernova?
Some really cool costumes and some really lazy ones. There were like people wearing full Dalek costume rolling around with the voice
Oh,
with a cardboard box over his chest that said Gundam.
One of these days we gotta have to do the best and the worst of Supernova cosplays. One of these days.
Oh, Michael
Not
J.
today,
White.
though.
Yeah.
Next year we should
Maybe
see if
we
we can get press passes as cosplay judges.
Yes.
I'm just thinking we should have sent the DJ along to interview Michael J. White.
Oh, that
would have been a spectacular fail.
Hey, wait, done. I can't remember who that is off the top of my head. What's he done?
He's the guy that did Spawn. He Spawned the movie. He was Spawn.
He was Spawn, and he's a MMA fighter.
Oh no, karate fighter.
MMA, not just karate. He does mixed martial arts. There's a number of movies. I can send you a list of him.
Oh yeah.
I've watched quite a few of his movies. He's
But Gold Nova. How do you
Gold Nova? What's Gold Nova?
This is Supernova at the Gold Coast. So, people call it Gold Nova.
Does anyone other than you call it Gold Nova, or are you just trying to start a trend?
No, I'm not starting a trend. It's people.
I've never heard it called that before.
Cosplayers call it Gold. A lot of people.
I've never heard it called Gold Nova before. Have you heard it called Gold Nova, Professor?
I can't say I have, but I will admit I haven't really been much into the convention scene.
But still, it was. Did you see any like sneak peeks or anything like that when you were at Supernova?
Is the Jurassic Park trailer widely released yet?
There's been a couple of bits and pieces come out about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw the new trailer for that, which quite hilariously, as it finished, a guy in one of those T-Rex suits ran past with his head flopping around here. Da na 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 na.
It's one of the things you got to love about those conventions is always the crazy element.
So I was surprised by the number of guys in drag.
DJ, you could have been in Hulk.
Okay, here's a question for you, Professor. How many Deadpool costumes?
One, I think.
One?
Yeah,
I was paying more attention to all of the Doctor Who variations. I saw a really good one of the 12th Doctor and Missy, but both were gender flipped.
Because I do remember every convention there'll be like an army of Deadpool cosplayers, and it is.
I must have missed them.
Yeah, then there's also the Spider-Man army as well.
Yeah, there were tons of Spider-Men and a couple of Venoms.
Nice. But yeah, anything else to report from Supernova?
No, not particularly. I don't think I really saw anything big and exciting. I was more interested in the talks. There was I went to one about sci-fi predicting the future, which got very doom and gloom very quickly. Started off like, do you think inventions can be predicted by sci-fi? And then it got into like the world ending because of global warming and all that.
Oh man.
Yep. And then I went to a couple of others. YouTube content creation, spaceship design, which the guy who did that was a pretty funny guy. He is a designer for the movie Garrison 7, which
Okay.
isn't out yet. It won't be out for a while. They're still filming it, as I understand it. But he designs the model spaceships that they then 3D model and scan into the computer to do effect shots.
Okay.
And he was like, I just take random bits of plastic and glue them together. And he showed some videos and photos and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I just take these and glue them together. And then bam, it's a spaceship. It's one of those rest of the owl sort of things.
Huh.
Okay.
I just look at it like, where did this come from? How did you get from A to B?
It must take a lot of thought into making the spaceship. You must have thought like
Yeah.
days and days. How am I gonna design?
was
He's
actually,
been doing it 30 years or something,
Oh,
ever since he was a kid.
I actually saw an article during the week where they were talking about people who have destroyed props that they shouldn't have. And
Like the Hateful Eight broke that antique guitar.
yeah, $40,000 guitar, or
50
whatever it
years
was.
old. It was 50-year-old as well.
And then yeah, Battlestar Galactica, when
Oh,
Admiral Adama smashes the little model ship replica.
no.
It was $200,000
No.
on loan from a museum.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Like,
is
the-
this-
Yeah.
After the smashing the guitar, the museum that was involved in that said they're never going to loan it to a movie set ever again.
oh,
They're not even going to allow a movie people to be involved with the museum. They're banned.
Wow. Yeah, this guy
but
saw
Kurt
presenting
Russell-
he could have built that $200,000 model for $10 in bottle caps.
But Kurt Russell apparently cried when he broke the guitar.
Kurt Russell, he's from The Thing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the guy
Yeah.
from the
But,
Thing and Sky High.
Which, funnily enough, the Thing involved burning down a model research station. Well, not model, full sized. And turns out the scene at the beginning where they go to the burnt down Norwegian station is actually filmed at the end of the movie after they burnt down the American station.
Okay.
That was more intentional, though.
But yeah, you got to respect the fact that Kurt Russell actually felt remorse about it. But the guy who played Adama, he was joking about it.
Oh, damn.
Kurt Russell had a tear in his eye for destroying a 50-year-old $40,000 guitar,
Yeah.
and Adama destroys a $200,000 replica. That's like the replica that he destroyed. Like, my father's actually made stuff similar to that, and you're looking at like 6 months of work.
Yeah.
Like, he's got 3 of these replica sailing ships, and the hull was actually all done correctly. Like, the actual planks for the hull
Oh, wow.
individually cut out and nailed on. Like,
And like
cut them-
matched to the two images so they're the same
yeah,
layout.
no, it's all exact,
Wow.
including the rigging. Like, he's actually sat down and tied up all the rigging and put it in place, and he's got the sails there.
I wish I had the
ratings?
patience for that.
Well, yeah, like he's got the 3 of them, and yeah, we all sit there just absolutely amazed at the detail. Even to the point of he's got bits of string in between the planks for the hull for caulking.
Wow.
I wonder how much would that cost on eBay if you were to sell them.
Well,
More
I
than
know
you can
that
afford.
when he made them, my brothers and I went down to the boat show at Sanctuary Cove, and there was a shop there that had a model sailing ship that was nowhere near as detailed for $5,000, and that was back 15 to 20 years ago.
Nice.
So they were selling something that was pretty much garbage in comparison for $5,000. So something like what my father's got, yeah, just the details and everything like that, because they're so insanely well done. Like, these things, you could literally put them into a tub of, like, into a pool of water, and they would float. He's even got ballast,
Oh man.
Wow.
and they're not small. Like, from the bottom of the keel to the top of the mast. They're about 3 foot tall almost, I think it is. So,
Jeez.
like you've actually seen one when you come into the front door of my place. Yeah, we got one there called the Unicorn. So he's made the Unicorn, the Endeavour, and the Bounty.
I will have to look back. I have to get that again. I have to look at it again. I want to see it again. Just admire it, and go. That's one heck of an accomplishment.
I sit
Oh,
there
there
and
was,
look at it on a regular basis, and I'm amazed.
I just remembered another thing I saw at Supernova, the
Mhm.
movie Occupation.
Yes.
It's I've seen trailers for it online, I think, but they had a display there of some props and stuff. It's looking
Okay.
really good, and it's nice to see an Australian alien movie instead of invading New York or Los Angeles or whatever in Australia.
I saw something about that. Now you just jogged my memory. That is looking so cool.
Is this going to be like the day before tomorrow type movies?
No, this one's more about
But that's what the day
and
before.
you're thinking Independence Day.
You're not
The
talking
day
about
after
the day.
tomorrow is about global warming.
You're,
Oh, no,
you're
no,
not
not day after tomorrow. That's the day day after tomorrow.
the
There was
day
a
after the
The
day
day
after
the
the
Earth
war
stood
began.
still.
No.
Oh,
He's talking about the day after the war began or whatever, when Australia
oh
said
yeah,
goodbye.
tomorrow when the war began.
yeah,
it.
that's the one.
Yeah, a bit like that, except aliens instead of totally not in Asia or China. Or
Yeah, but yeah, well, I would
they
Also,
remember.
one
had
other,
people walking around promoting it in alien costume.
but one little thing before we wrap it up for another week.
Yep.
They've got the Egyptian exhibition at the Queensland Museum.
Cool.
Go along and have a bit of a look if you're wanting something interesting to do, and you want to just immerse yourself in something intellectually stimulating.
Unlike our talks.
Wow, some of it can be. I hope some people are actually listening to us, so we can't be too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I said, that's it for another week. We'll have to wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you once again for listening. It's so long from me.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Oh, that seductive voice. He's trying to get someone to go on a date with him.
And all I can think of is the music from Blue Oyster Bar.